last Sunday around 7:30 p.m., two females presenting themselves as animal control officers attempted to remove two dogs from the front yard of an address in the 1500 block of South Palisade. When the females were contacted by a neighbor, the females informed the neighbor that they were removing the dogs due to they were underweight. The females were described as an older white female in her 50s, wearing a dark blue pants, dark blue shirt, and a denim jacket. The other female is a female in her 20s, also wearing all dark blue, wearing a denim jacket. Both the females had some sort of identification attached to their jacket. And at this point in time, I have Officer Kelly Bowie, who is an animal control officer, with me today. And this is the uniform that all animal control officers wear. And the major difference is all the animal control officers are going to have a badge attached to their duty belt. Their jacket is not denim. It is a dark navy blue. It'll have the WPD badge attached to the left breast pocket area. Everybody on the Wichita Police Department will have a city identification that has their photograph on it. And to Officer Bowie's left, you're going to see the description of our vehicles. The females were told that they were driving a pickup truck with a kennel in the back. The Wichita Police Department Animal Control does have one white pickup truck out on the street, but that is not used to pick up animals. Our vehicles are white vans. They'll have the City of Wichita emblem on the side. And when asked, the animal control officers will identify themselves with their city ID. And if there's ever any question, they can always call 911 and ask to talk to a supervisor. If an animal control officer would remove an animal from a front yard due to a neglect, we always leave a note on the door telling them where they can contact us, and that's something that these ladies don't do. And this is not the first time that we've had this problem. We've had a couple complaints in the last couple weeks.
A couple complaints?
Yes, this has happened a couple times.
Can you give us the address on the sending 911?
1500 South Palisade.
And this was about what time?
Around 7:30 p.m.
And it was just like 5 days ago?
Correct.
When was the other incident?
Earlier on in the previous week.
And did they take dogs then too?
I believe that on the first one they actually did take the dogs. They turned the dogs over to a local area rescue who notified us what had occurred, and we returned the dogs back to the owners.
So in both cases they took dogs?
The second time they didn't get the dogs taken because they were contacted by witnesses.
What kind of dogs are they taking?
They describe the dogs as the dogs are needing some type of care that they're not getting, being that they're chained to a tree and they don't think that's appropriate, or they think that they're underweight. So it appears that they're trying to act as a good Samaritan and take these animals.
Do you guys have an idea who is doing this, or?
It's an ongoing investigation that we're following up a couple leads on, yes.
You think their intent, as they see it, apparently, is that they're trying to help these animals, yet still they're breaking the law by doing it the way they're doing it?
Correct. Let's start off with, yes, they are breaking the law because they are representing themselves as an animal control officer for the Wichita Police Department, and they are not. But it appears that, and it's an ongoing investigation, but it appears like they're targeting animals that they feel that are not being cared for to their standards.
There's sort of sounds like a vigilante rescue group.
I'm going to go with it's still an ongoing investigation. I don't want to go quite that far.
Have you ever had this happen before now, before these recent?
It has occurred in the past, so I've been told, but it's usually somebody that's just outside of the norm, and they just don't feel that these people are taking care of their animals and they can do a better job.
No animal is missing.
Not right now, no, there is no animal missing.
There was one animal that was taken, but it was returned to the owner.
That is correct.
And
Would
that
you,
was
go ahead.
I'm sorry, that was an incident previous to Palisade.
That is correct.
Would you go over what would be the proper procedure if someone saw an animal in a neglectful situation? What's the proper procedure for them to follow?
Great question. If it's an emergency situation, utilize 911. If it's a non-emergency situation, they can call the animal shelter. We have officers that are available 24 hours a day to respond to certain type of events. An animal control officer would be dispatched out to the residence or out to the location. They would check on the animal. If it's a minor infraction where the animal control officer believes that it's just an education purposes, we can educate the owner as far as the proper way to care for the animal. If it's something a little bit more severe, we may cite the owner for the violation. And if it's even more severe than that, then we have a recourse of seizing the animal until we can get care for the animal.
Steve, how concerning is this for you guys?
We don't like anybody representing the Wichita Police Department when they're not a commissioned officer or not affiliated with Wichita Police Department. It gives us a bad name, and it gives all officers a bad name because everybody now is concerned, well, is this really an animal control officer? Is this really a police officer? So it makes our job even harder to do. There is a proper way of reporting these kind of issues. And matter of fact, on the city's webpage, there is now a link where citizens can report minor occurrences, dogs being tethered, dogs being neglected, dogs running at large. These type of occurrences, they come straight from the city's website to animal control, and then we respond from there. So there's other avenues to do this on.
And on the first incident, do you have an address on that one?
I do not, I'm sorry.
But they took one dog.
It's my understanding they took one dog.
Okay. And was that dog mistreated in any way?
It was underweight, but it was underweight to what they deemed to be underweight.
But you don't feel like it was being mistreated?
No.
Okay. Okay.
On the Palisade incident, they didn't take the animal there.
It's my understanding they did not get the dogs because they were
What? I'm sorry.
they were confronted by a witness.
So, and Tim kind of alluded to this, but I mean, do you think it is some kind of animal rescue group that's doing this?
I do not believe that they are. I don't think they are affiliated properly with any of the Wichita animal rescue units that we have in the city of Wichita. The Wichita Animal Shelter partners with all the local area rescues. Matter of fact, next week we have a meeting with all the local area rescues to talk about what's going right, what's going wrong. This is going to be one of those topics that we're going to talk about at the meeting. And all the certified rescues, in order to be a rescue in the state of Kansas, you actually have to have a license through the state of Kansas. And they have to renew their license on a yearly basis. The rescues have to spell out who all their members are and who does their foster. So we work hand in hand with all the rescues and with the goal of getting as many animals as possible placed in homes. So we have a good relationship with the rescues, and some of the information that we're getting about these two ladies are coming from rescues that they don't want this type of action.
Okay, and do you have a description on that truck?
Yeah. All I was given was a white pickup truck with a dog kennel in the bed.
Do you have a number that people can call if they see these ladies, or?
Actually, if they see these ladies, the best number to call is 911 and get an officer dispatched out there so we can get these two ladies stopped, identified, and maybe charged. If they have just general concerns, they can call the animal shelter at 350-3360.
I was going to, ask you what number to call for the animal shelter. 350-3360?
Correct.
Animal control.
That is correct.
Is that a misdemeanor?
It would be a misdemeanor.
Okay. And then Steve, I do, and I know I talked to you about this a minute ago, but I do have a legitimate question about that alligator.
Yes.
Tell me where that whole thing stands.
We still have the alligator at the Wichita Animal Shelter. He is being cared for there, and he's already been there for his 3 days. We have to hold all of our animals that we take in for 3 days. It gives the owner the chance to come in and reclaim the animal. He surpassed his 3 days. Next week, we're going to start looking at other options, whether it's released back to the owner. If it is released back to the owner, he's going to have to make certain arrangements. The animal cannot be within the city limits of Wichita, of course. If the owner can't take care of the alligator, then we'll start looking for other avenues. So we have a pretty good network to get rid of exotic animals such as alligators and those type of animals.
Like a zoo or something?
Like a zoo, correct?